percentages, you should be able to switch between fractions, decimals to percentages. So let us talk about converting between fractions, decimals, and percentages. So percentages to fractions. A percentage is always out of 100. So 37% is equal to 37 over 100. The same applies to 64%. That is 64 over 100. And this can be simplified to be reduced to a simpler fraction. So that one becomes 32 over 50 if it is reduced by 2, divided by 2 for both the numerator and the denominator. Again, if you divide by 2 the numerator and the denominator, the fraction will be reduced to 16 over 25. That can no more be simplified. So that is 42.9 over 100. You can see no fraction is commonly having a decimal, so you should remove the decimal by multiplying by 10 equal to the number of decimal places. You get 429 over 1000. Now percentages to decimals. This is the simplest. Just take 3 over 100, and then you take 3, you divide by 100. The decimal point will be moved 2 steps towards the left because the device has got 2 zeros. So you're going to have 0.03. This other one is going to be 0.35, and this is going to be 0.675. So let us talk about fractions to percentages. The easiest way to do is to convert the denominator into 100. So you multiply both the denominator and the numerator by a number that will make the denominator 100. That is 35 over 100, and that becomes 35%. In this case you have 3 over 40. A number that will make a number that will arrive to 100 is 40 multiplied to 5. You get 200, so that this can be reduced to 100. So you do it to both the numerator and the denominator. If simplified by 5, both the numerator and the denominator, by 2, if you divide by 2 here and by 2, this is going to be 7.5, and this is going to be 100. So as a percentage is 7.5%. Percent is always over 100. Now look at this. It is not easy to make this denominator to be a number which is 100 or number that can be reduced to 100. So the easiest way to change it to a percentage is to first convert it into a decimal. So that is 8 to 7 is 0. you put a dot, and 8 to 70 is 8, you remain with 6, you put 6 here, and then you add a 0, so 8 to 60 will be 7. 7 times 8 is 54, you remain with 4, you write 4 there, you add a 0. 8 to 40 is going to be 5, so 7 over 8 is 0.875. Now converting this to percentage, you simply multiply it to 100, and the dot will move 2 steps forward. You will get 87.5 as a percent. Fractions to decimals. Here, for example, this one is 3 divided by 10. One step backward, the decimal will be moved, you get 0.3. And this one, and this one, you divide that one, you change this to 100, to a denominator divisible to 100, and then you get 0.16. In this case, you cannot change it easily to a denominator divisible by 100, so you simply divide the way it is. Decimals to percentages. This is the simplest. You simply multiply to 100, and the dots will move 2 steps forward. For example, in the first case, the decimal point has been moved 2 steps forward, and that is going to be 75%. The same applies to that one. Decimals to fractions. That is simply going to be written 25 over 100, because when you divide 25 to 100, you will go back there getting 0.25. so just observe the number of decimal places, and then you put it on a number with 1 equivalent, with 0 is equivalent to the number of decimal places. So if you want to simplify it, because both the denominator and numerator are divisible by 25, you just divide the numerator and the denominator by 25, you end up getting the simplest fraction. So look, this one, just move the dots 2 steps forward, and then you'll have 92 over 100 simplified to 46 over 50 if this is divided by 2 and this by 2, and again if this is divided by 2 and this by 2, you get 23 over 25. Now in the third case, this one should be 5 over 1000, because the dot has to be moved 3 steps forward. That is 5 over 1000. It is so because when you divide 5 to 1000, you'll come back getting 0.005. If you simplify to the simplest, for the number to be reduced to the simplest fraction, you divide by 5 the number above, and the number below by 5, you get 1 over 20. Thank you.